Than your average podcast. Sicker than your average podcast. Trying to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nestor, I told you he's the best. Angie Lamar, they'll go far cause she's a superstar. And Curtis, he's worshipped a wordsmith. When it comes to real talk, they're all my first pick, you heard it. They're so good together. Why are so many black women single?
This is the question that I'd like to find out too. Because, you know, there's a lot of hard-working black women out there. A lot of young black women and older black women.
You ever hear a man say he want a woman because she's hard-working?
Can I just ask the question? My bad. Is that
let Angie talk, Eddie, please? Go on, Angie.
Jeez, the wheel and the car and the van. Listen.
Sicker than your average podcast. Sicker than your average podcast. Trying to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nestor, I told you he's the best. Angie Lamar, they'll go far cause she's a superstar. And Curtis, he's worshipped a wordsmith. When it comes to real talk, they're all my first pick, you heard it. They're so good together, whatever the weather. I dare you to find someone better. I bet that you could never. Facebook and YouTube, they're coming through.
Ida says, how can we fight the institution if we keep leaving? Don't we need someone on the inside? Angela says they've opened the door to normalise the use of the N-word. And Trevor says, because we as black people are not deemed important. And Angela Water says, it's underlying institutional racism. See you guys again in 20 minutes.
Sicker than your average podcast. Trying to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nestor, I told you he's the best. Angie Lamar, they'll go far cause she's a superstar. And Curtis, he's worshipped a wordsmith. When it comes to real talk, they're all my first pick, you heard it. They're so good together, whatever the weather. I dare you to find someone better. I bet that you could never. Facebook and YouTube, they're
Working you, so I know difficult decisions are made that are subjective, and I trust that the people at the BBC make them for the best intention, even though they might be wrong. But you won't have the C word, the F word, the Y word, the P word. Why? How does that? They're telling me it was needed to emphasize the point. We've talked about it today. We haven't used it.
Sicker than your average podcast. Trying to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nestor, I told you he's the best. Angie Lamar, they'll go far cause she's a superstar. And Curtis, he's worshipped a wordsmith. When it comes to real talk, they're all my first pick, you heard it. They're so good together, whatever the weather. I dare you to find someone better. I bet that you could never. Facebook and YouTube, they're coming through. Weekly topics on the news, Sundays 1 to 2. And you can chime in if you've got something to say from the 3 best comedians.
I got one now with a hat and he does this. But he's black. I want to get a Chinese one as well, or a Jewish one.
Let it go.
Did you guys really find that out? Did you just find out about the black emojis? Really?
Why do you answer questions with questions, Angie?
Sicker than your average podcast.
Sicker than your average podcast. Sicker than your average podcast. Trying to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nestor, I told you he's the best. Angie Lamar, they'll go far cause she's a superstar. And Curtis, he's worshipped a wordsmith.
I'm so proud of him. The decision he made is within all of those people you've mentioned, from John Boyega, Ashley Waters. There's a pain that we talked about, why this show was designed, why this show came about. It's about that pain.
The 3 best comedians in the UK, they've all got knowledge by the boatload. They shake it up and make it nice like a snow globe. Not in your postcode, they still feel a stone's throw. Bringing us together. Hashtag no jokes.
Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
Hashtag no jokes.
Sicker than your average podcast.
Sicker than your average podcast.
People don't respect you and you've got no worth. They will treat you like that. You might pull in people to have hierarchy and go, you speak on that diversity, you speak on that. But really, you're just doing games because no one's standing up for us right now. Where are they? Because we're not worth it. We have no value. We pay our license every month or whatever. I don't even know if I need my BBC license right now, because it's disappointing to know that, yeah, we said it and we take the Sideman's resignation and go, we wish him all the best. What?
Still feel a stone's throw, bringing us together. Hashtag no jokes.
Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
No jokes.
Sicker than your average podcast.
Sicker than your average podcast. Sicker than your average podcast. Trying to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nestor, I told you he's the best. Angie Lamar, they'll go far cause she's a superstar. And Curtis, he's worshipped a wordsmith. When it comes to real talk, they're all my first pick.
Greetings and welcome back to another No Joke, hashtag No Joke. Angie, Curtis and Eddie, and somehow Mrs. Nestor has sneaked in there, taking you through. It started off as the week's events, but it's become slightly more generic, subjects that are important to people like us, and hopefully, sharing our experiences. And I just want to start by saying sorry to all the people that have messaged. I haven't answered this week because I know people want to buy T-shirts, but it's been a week, which we'll hear a little bit about in a minute. So let's get the A in the Ace team on. How are you, Angie?
Hi, Eddie. How are you?
Hello, Angie.
How are you, sir?
I think you're. I'm fine. Well, I'm alive. I don't think I'm fine. I don't think I'm fine at all. But I'm alive. It's great to see you.
It's good to see you.
It's great. Ooh, you got headphones in. That's fantastic, Angie.
Happy now.
I'm very, very happy. Let's get Curtis on. The C in this particular Ace. How are you, Curtis? Where are you? No? It's just me and you, Ange. Oh, right. He's there.
Hey!
Hello, Curtis.
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon, team. I'm very well.
Curtis.
The C in the Ace team. I'm very well. Good to see you all. Angie, you look stunning. Wow.
Oh, thank you.
Should we tell them we did a rehearsal today, which we've never done? We've never done.
And we'll never do it again.
Week, yeah, because the subject of the rehearsal was eyebrows, which wasn't particularly
and foundation and makeup. And the girls got jealous. Me and Eddie were just hugging the conversation.
You know what I mean? Hey, say the truth.
So, guys, listen, we're going to start with it's your children. Happy birthday, Angie. 33 years ago today, you were in pain.
That's right. Pushed out Travis J. Prosper. Yes. And my mum's birthday was on Monday, and one of my best friends, Yvonne Williams, her birthday was. So August was a real birthday celebration. So yes, it's good.
Happy birthday, Yvonne. Know her very well, Ange. It's my brethren.
You know Yvonne?
Yeah, nurse.
Yeah.
That's my people, man.
Oh, it's my best friend from when I was a little child.
Yeah, she tells me so many things about you, man. It's so good to know someone that knows someone.
No, let's move on swiftly.
Absolutely, that's the way I used to speak when I didn't. Thank you very much to Jill Nichols from Travel Counsellors. Yes. Without her, it literally wouldn't be possible.
Thank you, Jill.
We're exploring other revenue streams because we don't want it to stop. We really, and Jill's going to be on because we need her help this week. You would have seen the difference in the way 500,000 people trying to get out of France, Belgium, Holland. It's been bad this week. And as I say, we've got all three of us individually have lodgers in our house, right? And we need to get rid of them 3 women from our house quick as
please we can. God, so please God.
Jill's going to come on later and talk to us. So look, I mean, we always start with the elephants, don't we, in the room? We're doing stress today, and it's different to mental health in a way, although one I imagine leads to the other because David came on. Stress is a thing. So if you don't mind, I mean, I'll start with my story. So this week, it ain't been good. I'll tell you the truth. I'm not at work, and I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you two. So talk to me. Us people who tell jokes are supposed to be miserable in real life. Curtis, you talked about that before. Tell me about you and stress.
I know a lot of comics we're known for you're on when you're on, and when you're down, when you're off stage, you kind of revert back into some other place. It's weird, and I suffer it myself sometimes, a lot of times. But there are comics who are constantly on, even if you're just socializing. They're constantly trying to work material into what I would deem a normal conversation. I find it really annoying, if I'm honest, because I think I'm opening up and we're having a conversation. Suddenly somebody's looking for a punchline. With myself, I'm very lucky in that I suffer stress, but my early warning that I'm under it is I get a little eczema around the neck. And when that comes in, I kind of just ease back. And it strikes when you're doing something you're passionate about, or when you're working on something. Like I kind of am a person who want to control it. If I'm doing a one-man show, I want to do the lights, the sound, the cameras. I want to be in that control. And sometimes it's too much. And I feel my body tells me, whoa, ease back. Just take a moment, And it is a very lucky thing that I get this little eczema come up. As a child I had it, but it comes up on my neck every time I feel a little bit too much going on. And my friend love it, is Bev Randall, who didn't even know she was having it until London, being in the inner city, put something on you don't even know is there.
Yeah.
And she contracted lupus and had to leave London and went to live just outside Bristol in Frome. And I went down to see her about a year later, and totally changed. Her whole demeanor totally changed for the better. She's a wonderful woman anyway, but you could see the stress had left her just by a change of location, and work, obviously, is always stressful.
Well, and it's in a way work, life, and Angie, we had a very long and deep conversation, didn't we, about stress and trauma this week, and about recognizing it, dealing with it. How does it manifest with you? Do you recognize it? And are we all in a place now where we're brave enough to talk about it? And before you do answer, Angie, I do want people watching to say, do you feel it? Is it about work? Is it about life? How do you manage it? What do you do? Because I'll tell you in a little while about the physical manifestation of it, so far as I'm concerned. But Angie, I just want to know, do you recognize it? Do you feel it?
Oh, absolutely. But before, I didn't recognize it. I just felt as a mother, a wife, a sibling, a daughter, that I was managing a lot of things and making sure that I was in control. I can do that. All I have to do is get up earlier and manage that. And sometimes you think, gosh, look at me. How great am I? I can get up at 5 and I can walk the dog, season the meat, have everything ready to go for the rest of the day, write a play, do this, come back, do all of that for such a long time. And I think the time I used to get my break, I used to wait for my year to go to Jamaica, because I live in Jamaica part of the year, and just let it all go. And then when my dad died, I realized that it was a different level of stress that I was dealing with, because I was now looking after my mum. And sometimes you are the sibling that's looking after everything in the family. And
you're the one. I know what you mean. You're the one.
Yeah. It's on me. My mum lives here and in Jamaica. You're raising kids. And my stress comes out when I get angry. And, Curtis was talking about comics suffer from depression because they spend so much time up. You've just made the whole audience laugh. And then you're driving home by yourself thinking, so who's going to make me laugh? And you kind of laugh at the moment going, oh, that joke was good. But it actually doesn't make you laugh. It just makes you go, that was a good gig. And after a while, you start to become I get angry. This week alone, somebody had made a comment about something on the no joke. And I can normally ignore things, Eddie and Curtis. I can normally ignore it. But this time this girl said, kiss your something or whatever. And part of me wanted to ignore it. And then part of me wanted to go, hey, Gyal, who are you talking to? And then I kind of came back like a bit sharp as well. Because I'm thinking, who are you talking to? And I can see myself, pull myself back and go, Angie, don't go there. But it was too late. I just thought, who are you talking to? And I knew that was part of my stress, part of the stuff that I'm carrying. And I'm carrying a lot of stuff. And I don't realize it. People stop you and say, hi, you're right. Give us a joke. And you say, give a joke. I don't have any jokes. Because you just feel like I can't do that now. But at the same time, I have to find my way. I swim every day. I have to swim 50 lengths a day. And I walk my dog for 2 hours. That's my natural. If I do that, I have a good day. So the swimming bars are closed. So it's just walking the dog. Sometimes I'm in the park all 3 hours trying to take it all down.
Well, you both do that. It's quite interesting because Curtis does that. And that's that's where some of your stuff comes out, Curtis, that you've been putting out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So it
that
must be
moment. And
therapeutic. Yeah.
yeah, it has been. I have to be honest, dude, the not being on stage has been hard because this show's fantastic for us, obviously. But prior to this show, used to go up on the hill with the dog and just chat some rubbish. And I think it was Eddie who told me to get some social media work going on. And then I saw Andy McCall. Andy did a video that just lightened up my days, doing a forward roll. Now, Angie, I don't know if you know him, but this guy was not designed for gymnastics.
Okay.
And he perfected.
He's built for comfort.
Yeah, he's built for comfort, not speed. But I couldn't stop laughing. I thought it was hilarious. And I realized the social media was helpful in that you got a chance to just express and talk and reason. Because not being on stage, as I said before, is my therapy.
Yeah.
Being in that moment, those 30, 40-hour minutes are a chance for me to just give it out there and put a punchline at the end of it. But I'm very lucky in that the audiences I have are so open to everything, and you can have different conversations with them because we realize we're more similar than dissimilar. Right. You know what I mean? We have a lot in common that we're a bit afraid to talk about until now. We're all expressing ourselves, which I think has got to be better for all our mental health.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I spoke to a mental health practitioner this week who said to me that through COVID, lots of people are coming in, lots of people are presenting with things that they didn't have before. Lots of what was really interesting, it came up the conversation we had earlier this week. There are things that you think you've dealt with. There are things that have happened to you, maybe that you think you've partitioned, and then something happens and then it comes out. Yeah. So for me, this week, the body just shut down. Resting heartbeat of 120, went to GP, low blood pressure, at risk of stroke. I can't concentrate. My mind is like a fog. You see, when the body just broke down, and I'm like, well, what's going on? What's going on? And it's really difficult. I mean, I'm off, as I said, I'm off work. I don't know when I'm going to back, if I go back, because there are things there as well. And in that, you know, at the end of last week's show, the N-word thing came up. You see what I mean? It was so central. I truly have a different respect. Anybody who whistleblows or speaks against a corporation while they're in it. So speaking to power while you're in the belly of the beast, if I knew, I wouldn't have done it.
Well, the bravery that you've shown, because we were all kind of worried about you, because you're speaking within the house. You're in the house talking about the house. And that's a dangerous place to be. And it can be a very lonely place to be. Because where you expected a bit of support, because I remember listening to your show, I think it was last week, Tuesday, where you were calling for the people who made the decision to come and defend their decision to allow the N-word to go out. And I could hear it echo. The silence was so loud. I'm thinking, where are these people? Surely they should come and give you that kind of support. This is why we made that decision. That's all you wanted to hear. And then you're banging on your drum and nobody's hearing you. And I think that, for me anyway, power to you, man, because I know what that feels like. And I'm so proud of you for actually doing it. Now you're going to see the ramifications now. And hopefully people get behind you at work.
But also as well, Eddie, we've always said, right, that we were behind you and we've got you and
no, you said it, Angie. I was at a distance.
You can't pay my mortgage, though.
Yeah,
you can't pay my mortgage.
No, I didn't say that's why I said we were behind you in how you manage it, how we manage it, because we can throw things out there. We're not working in that environment. So we kind of were able to say what we wanted to say. It was the lack of responsibility of people inside the incorporation that you felt probably let down by, that we all felt let down by. And so for you, I don't think you're in a position that you have to worry about. I think your thing is you've got to get your strength back. You've got to get your wellness back, because we can't carry everything. You can't. And I don't think you should try to. Just turn up on the Sunday.
Masseuse come in and massage your wife couldn't have helped you.
Yeah, always. He can't help himself.
Thank you, Katie.
And if you need somebody to come in to massage Lisa, please, Eddie, I'm there for you.
Really?
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, it's a boys thing. You know, we don't really do that. It's weird because you know, in my world, black men don't cry, and I've seen that so often through this. That it's just amazing to me. You know, it's like wow, and because of where we come from, what we do, and how we feel, I know for a man to do that, what must be going on. I think there's a lot of trauma. I think there's a lot of pain, and I'm living it. So if you look at the boss lady will put it up in the comments now. If there's anybody out there, whether it be for you, your child, whether you want to talk to somebody, then it's there. Yeah. Because I'm going to do that thing. I'll do it and then I'll come back and tell everybody it was. Kurt, you'll understand this. I have resisted the idea of doing it. When we went to Grenfell, I was in Grenfell on the morning when people were screaming for their children and screaming for their relatives. And what I realized later on is that everybody in the team who was there with me went and talked to somebody. The therapist went and talked because it wasn't easy. And I just realized, which is what the boss lady's been saying, you take these calls every day. You're speaking like you're a therapist and you ain't. And even the therapists apparently go to see somebody once a month to make sure they're straight.
Absolutely.
And I've resisted it all but I'm gonna see somebody. And I'll come back and tell you. But the thing is, right, I don't want no clap. I haven't told you that I'm gay and I've been having a double life. You don't need to congratulate me like that.
Honestly,
I've never wanted to do it because I know that if I don't go to somebody who looks like me, and this is the other thing about mental health, then they're not going to get culturally what you're doing while you're doing. Anybody with mental health episodes gets like double the doses, potential for violence. That's how I came into it. But I also know I don't want to go to anybody that look like me because I don't want them to know my business.
And you know what, Eddie? And honestly, that is our biggest problem, because the first thing that we were taught when we were growing up is don't keep your business out the door. Don't chat to anybody. Keep it inside. Keep it inside. Now we're having to turn around and say, actually, keep it inside kills me. The not being able to cry in public kills me. You talk about men not crying, black women are not crying as well. There are a lot of people who are not letting out their emotions and saying, I can't cope, this hurts. I used to study to do counselling years ago, and they said to me, every counsellor has somebody that they dump on to. So you have to take what has been dumped on you and dump it over there. If you don't do that, you're carrying and wanting to solve everybody's issues, and you can't do it. Sometimes you've got to say, actually, no. Sometimes when your friends call you to say, look, I've got a dump on you, you have to be able to say, look, not today. I'm not having a good day as well. I can't do it today with you. And look after yourself. We've got to practice looking after ourselves, because I've known 2 people in the last 2 weeks, black women, that have died, just died in their 50s, head issues. Now, we're carrying a lot in our head. We're carrying a lot for our children. You know, this is how we get strokes, or, you know, the diabetes, the pressure that we're carrying, heart attack. Let's be honest and really start thinking, actually, can we fix ourselves? This is a really good therapeutic for all of us, really. Curtis, you, me, sitting there talking. We're all winning right now because we're talking and letting it out.
I just worry that whoever Eddie goes to will have to have an understanding of his humor and his mindset, because I've been telling Eddie to go for counseling for years. I'm talking maybe 20, 30 years. I've been telling Eddie, you need help. And people think I'm joking. People think I'm joking, but he's a very, very ignorant, angry, short man. And it's been like that forever.
And it's showing.
In conclusion, before we go to the boss, I just want to say, you know, one of the things that through Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, the N-word, the stuff that we've done on police, the stuff that we've done on mental health, you know, one of the things that's occurred to me this week when I haven't been at work is how much we do to make other people feel comfortable in the way we dance, what we say, how we say it, the way we laugh, what we wear. Yeah. I underestimated what a stress that was as well. Do you understand? Am I speaking nonsense? Have I lost it completely? Or do you understand what I'm saying?
We're always protecting people and how they see us, how they feel about us. You know, we're talking about hair later, but the hair was an issue. You know, how we speak. Oh, are we too angry? You know, black women have always had that stereotype put on top of us that says we're angry. And actually, if we're angry, so what? Because we've got something to be angry about. But yet we try to negotiate our conversation so we don't appear angry, so that you don't call us angry. But yet we suffer that. So you walk into a shop, you watch somebody following you, you're thinking, let me show that the things are in my hands. Let me show you that I'm not a thief. Why do we have to feel like that every day?
Yeah.
It's tiring. So you just think to yourself, the thief's over there. Follow them.
Yeah.
For real. Let's get the boss on, shall we, and
Yes.
find out what the comments are. We love your comments. We're trying to get as many of them on as possible.
Oh, she's on the wide. She's on the wide.
We get 1,000. Greetings to you.
Hello, Ace team. How you doing?
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa. Oh, wow. You look gorgeous.
Thank you very much. So do you. But Angie always steals it. She looks beautiful today.
Oh, Lisa, stop it. I see your eyebrows.
Oh, I got them done yesterday legally. Thank you. Hello, lovely listeners. I must say, Eddie, you've got lots and lots of love coming in and lots of support. Lots of comments about the stress. Rosie says, keeping your mind, environment and support circle positive is definitely important. Yep. Amanda says, Eddie, you are beyond brave to speak out within the BBC. Dee says, we are living in unprecedented times. Concerns regarding job security, money, and even homeless are a threat to many. Dean A says, stress kills more people than you think. Mental wellness is so important. And Yvonne says, your body speaks to you, but you have to be open to listen to it. Takes a strong person to recognize their needs and reach out for help. Keep the comments coming in. Don't forget to like, share, #NoJo. And just finally, remember to big up Jill Nichols, our main sponsor. Without her, we might not have it on. Please like her Facebook page. Also, Island Flavors, healthy Caribbean food. Give them a shout. See you in 20 minutes.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
Bye-bye.
So this Island Flavors.
Actually,
yeah. When did me and Angie get a little Island Flavor
to test it?
Test it out, or what? Is it just them bringing fruit to your yard?
Just your yard.
Do the two of you, when you look at this screen and can see yourself, do you look like you need to test and taste any more food?
Yes. Don't fat shame, Eddie. I've been supportive of your stress. Now be supportive of my hunger and greed. I want some food.
Sorry, Eddie, what did you just say? Did you just say that out loud? No wonder you need counselling. What are you talking about?
No, Curtis, Angie.
No, he wasn't, Angie. He said both of us look fat.
I'm talking to Curtis, Angie. I promise you. I'm sorry.
I'm scared now.
Carry on.
Backtrack.
Carry on. You're running out of time.
We were trying to get away. Sorry. I apologize, right? I stepped out of my lane. I apologize. We were trying to get away from the N-word last week. Wasn't it amazing? And let me say thank you to the people that watch this, because I've seen the numbers, the people that watch it at one, and the numbers are just fantastic, right? It means that hopefully people out there getting the same blessing that we get, and also things to talk about and ideas. But I know a lot of the nearly 19,000 complaints came from people who watched this and went on to complain. And so it works. Don't moan, complain. Make your voice be heard. You understand me? Be effective. Do what you need to do in order to achieve what you want. But I think, Angie, when I watched the clips of the show, many of the things about you and Curtis, you don't like the word. But let's just take a look at it in a different context to get people's thoughts. So here is a world heavyweight champion, unbeaten lover of reggae and soul music. He's called the Gypsy King. Take a look at this.
change the free. Funk master flex on folks start speech. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. Call the crib, say never say what. It's all good. Oh, yeah. And if you don't know, now you know.
Well, I don't know about you lot, but mine froze. Did yours froze? If you know that, isn't that amazing? We go to a rehearsal and we try to do it. We send the mafia to Curtis' house. We buy headphones.
I've got to let you know, Angie, Eddie sent around his social media mafia to come and assess my Wi-Fi in my house.
My wife.
And they told me it was fantastic. The best they've ever seen. So I told Eddie, fix up your end. It's all happening at your end. And look what happened now. He's freezing like something out of Frozen. Look at you. Fix up, man.
Do you know that song, Curtis? Then you know, Don't You Know N?
Yeah.
And he sings the song. And
what do you do?
Fascinating to see the response.
What do you do? It's in the music. What do you do? How do you then police that? How do you then get upset? I remember years ago, 50 Cent did a concert, predominantly white audience in his big crowd, and got them to chant the N-word, got them chanting it back at him. What do you do? It's in the music. All I can do as a person who can't stand the word is make choices about the music I listen to, especially when he's got his children there, because then they're going to go on to be singing it, but it's in the music. I don't see how we can police that, or even if we should.
I think the thing is now we're having a very deep, serious conversation about the N-word that we've never had before. So times are changing, and it's very sensitive times right now. And those who are singing it in the music, those are the next people that we have to start to get to and let them know you are part of the problem. Because this family singing this song quite comfortably, recording it, not being even sensitive enough to say, you know what, the N-word is quite a thing right now, let me not post it. Not only did he sing it because the rappers are singing it, so we understand where it's coming from, but he felt that it was okay to post it. And when he saw there was an uproar about it, he hasn't apologized. He got another boxer who came in to say, listen, you know, he's a good guy, he's not racist, because there's always one sitting there waiting to go, let me defend him. And that guy said, Tyson Fury has said to him, he's a gypsy and he is the N-word of England. Now, so he's not singing it now. He understands where the word comes from. He understands what the word means. But because he's not singing it, he's still perpetuating that word that we find inappropriate and unacceptable. So they do know it's unacceptable.
So I don't think they do, Angie.
So let me ask you one question. Hold on.
The whole social media has gone on fire for Tyson.
Yeah, in our world, Angie. In our world, the world's gone on fire. And so, but in his world, I don't think they do. I really don't.
White people are saying, I sing it all the time, but I just don't sing it when I'm in front of you guys.
Yeah. Well, the reality is they do sing it in front of us guys. They do. And if you look at, it's an Americanism that has infiltrated Britain. But when you're like Tyson Fury going to America all the time, well, those kids who just are so brought up on the American way, the British children, or British people grew up on the American music. It's in all types of music across America. I've been watching the boxing for a long time, and I've got to say, I don't know his heart, I don't know his mind, but I know he loves a certain style of music. And I think we're going to speak about this a little later on about the appropriation of our music. But they do not see the N-word in the way I see it or hear it, or in the way you see it or hear it.
They do see it.
Because the fact Americans are using it as every other sentence, they're using that word. And
Tyson Fury won't use it out of context.
Angie, last word, and then we're going to move on.
Why? Ask him why he won't use it on the street. He'll just sing it because he does know it.
Right.
Whether we like it or not.
If you're watching, if you're listening, I feel like, you know, the pods have been dominated by mental health, which I'm okay with the police, and now with the N-word. And I do want to move it on, but we do have to get your comments on. The question is it time we stop using it? And is it is Angie right that people do know when it's wrong, or is Curtis right? Well, actually, I don't know whether they know or whether they care. Let's just get your thoughts on and let me move on. Let's stay with music though, because I tried this out actually, and lots of people didn't know. So let's take a look at Rita Ora, please.
Voices in the music industry is being appropriated for people who may appear to be Black but are not.
That is a good point, though, isn't it? I mean, Kim makes a really good point.
I don't particularly agree with her, actually. I don't think it's that great a point at all. Kim herself, who's a fantastic artist, and I've listened to much of her music, Kim herself has worn lots of wigs. I mean, I think specifically she may be wearing one now. And the look of the wig, the way it is, black hair isn't actually like that. I've seen lots of things. So for you to say that other people are monetizing the look, and then you having done it yourself, I mean, is that your hair, Kim? No, it's not. It's actually
Kim is black. That's the thing, isn't it? She can do what she likes.
Right. So can we, before we get into the hair thing, because I can imagine we're gonna get deep on this one, right? Before Angie, we get into the hair thing, let's take a look at the Albanian Rita Ora. I gotta say, Angie, I talked to lots and lots of people, and they thought she was a woman of mixed heritage. What is your reason? Before we get into the hair, is it that they want her to be that because she is the color she is? It's not like she is what she is, and she's selling music, and there's enough black women who got funky hairstyles that you wouldn't necessarily associate with black women. So what's the problem here, Angie?
You see, the thing is, and I think Nana was out of context there when she was talking about it from the wig point of view. This is about appropriation, whereby when I have my hair out, when I do these hairstyles, you have a problem. Some of the sisters out there who go to work with their hair in afro have a problem with the workforce. They're not able to accept it. They find it a little bit threatening. Oh, that's too black, that's too radical. So it's not about where she's from. It's the fact that when she does it, everybody is in awe of it. When the Kardashians cane roll their hair, they hold them up as though, look at this wonderful hairstyle. We've been cane rolling our hair and having our hair in afro and wearing it natural for years. But as soon as when we do it, we don't get the same props or the same love. When they're fattening up their lips and putting extensions in their bottoms to try and make themselves look like black women, we are already that, and we're not getting props for that. So for me, when Rita Ora singing black music, honestly, that's not new, because half the people behind her are black. Jay-Z, the producers, they knew what they were doing. They knew that they could get her into the marketplace because she's not black, but she could appear to be black, so we can sell her for that. How many black women do you know that can sing 10 times better than Rita Ora? How many times have you watched X Factor and seen a black woman come up and sing and they think, oh my God, and they think nothing of it because they think you're supposed to be able to sing. But if a young white girl comes out and sings a black song and we go, wow, because straight away they think they can market that. Yeah. This is the problem that we have, is that when we do it, you don't see it. It's a big problem. But when you do it, we're supposed to act like you're introducing Afro to us, introducing cane roll to us, and making it seem like it's a hairstyle that we have to run and go and get. And that is the problem.
Well, Michelle is talking about Bo Derek. Remember that hairstyle. And I do have something that says we black women with natural hair less likely to get job interviews, according to this study by Duke University. Angie, I'm going to come back to you. I just want you to think about an answer to this question. If what you're saying is true, then her portraying herself as black is a disadvantage, not an advantage. But I'm going to come back to you.
It's an advantage if you're not black. If you're not black, it's an advantage. If you're not black and you're presenting yourself as black, that's the advantage.
Yeah, but I understand the sound. I understand. Help me to understand, Angie. Honestly, I understand the sound black. Of course I do, because I know who Elvis Presley is. I understand the sound of black, but I don't I don't. All the times we've ever done this, it's been about how light Beyonce is. Why isn't Beverly Knight in the charts? Why don't we have any? I've never. I don't quite understand. Help me to understand it, please.
Because she comes already made. She doesn't need lightening cream. She doesn't need to straighten her hair. She can be who she wants to be. You see, this is the issue. We don't get to be who we want to be. We don't get the choice to go, oh, I'll have it straight, I'll have it curly. You know, people will judge you because of your hair. You know, I've had locks, I've had afro. I got a big afro. I got my hair in Kenya. I put a wig on. I do what I want to do with my hair because I'm not going to have anybody dictate how I want to do and what I want to do with my hair. So we don't get the choice to do that. Because if you want to be natural, you can't go into the workforce. If you want to wear perm, you're sold out. You don't like your blackness. All of which is not true and unacceptable. But she's come already made. So she's light. You don't know she's mixed race because she looks kind of like Rihanna. She got a big afro on. We can't work her out. But we love her music. We accept her. This is why. Exotic, she's all of those things in their minds. But we can't be that because we are a threat.
Curtis. Sorry.
You.
What does my mum always said to me, Eddie, a woman here is her beauty. And I remember how that impacted her as she got older and her hair started to thin. It really did, you know, maybe we'll do it another day, but I think that as women get older, quite often as they go through menopause, the change, their hair changes, and me not having hair and a woman not having hair is not the same thing. What does a person's hair, how does it speak to you, Curtis?
Well, in regards of women, I'm going to say it sounds a bit cliche, but I think the celebration of us as black women are just beautiful, full stop, to me. I just find them, regardless of hair. I've had friends, all different hairstyles, all different things. I'm not a great lover of the weave, I'm not, but that's just my personal, not a great lover of it. Going back to the Rita Ora thing, her parents ran a pub in Maida Vale. She grew up in Ladbroke Grove. She went to a school with another friend of mine's daughter, my heartbeat's daughter, went to school with her. She's a survivor. That is her personality. Whatever it takes to survive, she will do that to be successful. That is what she has in her. When Angie is quite rightly explaining, a young black artist with double, treble, quadruple the talent, right, won't get the go because Aura can change her look, and it's about marketing, and she can be marketed. Whether she can sing or not, she can be marketed because that look is what they are celebrating. This is where we as black people need to come together, because the last people to celebrate us is us sometimes. Our culture, our history, all of those things are powerful, and we don't know the value of it, but other cultures know the value of our culture. And until we embrace ours and start buying records from the people that we see and love and enjoy, purchasing them, building them up, giving them that financial security to turn around and say, look, I'm wearing my hair how I want because I have a body of people behind me who love me, and that will never change. All right? Yeah. Until we give them that confidence, every artist. You think back when we were all, I was a lot younger than you, but I remember when Lisa Stansfield was seen, and what? She's white? What? Yeah. She's been around the world. You remember the track, Been Around the World? Yeah. And everybody, it was just on the radio. And we would have put money on her being a black girl. And when everybody saw, and not only that, from Rochdale, I'm from Rochdale. I said, what the hell? Hold it. But she loved the music, no doubt about it. But could a beautiful black woman or an ugly black woman with a better voice than that have made it in the charts with that song? The answer is no, because it's not marketable. And same with our Lovers Rock. You go China, Japan, they are embracing Lovers Rock. We hear Lovers Rock, oh, not that again. When people go dance and hear the music, there's a group of people who will love it forever, of which I am one. But in a marketing term, they are lifting, hijacking, sampling our music. Throughout history, they've been doing that. Putting it on a beat for Justin Bieber, putting it on a beat for that person that can market. But it's our music. Right, go back to Elvis Presley. They wouldn't show him moving his legs because he'd ripped off every dance move from the likes of Chuck Berry and so on, and they called it black gyration. He gyrates like a black man. That was what he was critiqued. So when they filmed him, they filmed him from the waist up. Yeah? So this has been going on throughout history. Black people need to value us. We need to celebrate us. We need to play our music as loud as we can. We need to wear our hair as much as we can, as culturally empowering as we can, and embrace each other and celebrate each other. And they will get on terms with it.
I think that, you know, you do a lot of the they thing. And I mean, I'm kind of interested in the we thing at the moment. And I think if you know, when we mentioned Westwood's name on here, I know Angie got a lot of emails about what do you know, what do you know, what do you know. But Westwood is held up as the leader of hip hop music. He is the one who plays hip hop music better than anyone else.
And David Rodigan just got an award in Jamaica.
And not a little award either. Now, and that's not to say that, because the difficulty with this conversation, Angie, let me say this, because people are listening. We know people are watching and people are listening. And our ultimate respect to people who are listening to try to share, to understand, because I understand that. But I'm not putting this show in here. We are not putting this show in here to compromise, to make anybody feel comfortable.
We just said,
I do that in all my other work, right?
Curtis just said exactly the root of the problem, that we don't know how to appreciate ourselves. And as soon as, you know what, we all understand what people played in music because of the privilege that they had to play that in music. But you can't play certain music without certain people. So if you take those people away from it, you can't play the music. So how then can people be lauded and awarded for playing the music that they didn't make? Now, this is where Jamaica, over the last couple of weeks, are making some serious schoolboy errors right now. And I'm not trying to take anything from Rodigan, but I'm not trying to give it to you in a place right now where we understand where it's not been fair. It has not been fair. We're talking about so many things. The other day, we're talking about the Choice FM plaque. A plaque is going up, but yet Choice FM is no longer there, where it has been sold on and then forgotten about. So we get to put a plaque up to say we was here. There's a lot of this going around where we're not actually getting back what we actually rooted down in history. That makes no sense to me. And I'm really tired of people thinking that they've got to award.
Here's the steps of it, Angie. Especially with Jamaica, and there's a lot of black people still suffering that slave mentality that we all suffer.
Absolutely, I understand that, but we are
applauding people in this time when we are awarding people in a time when it is about self-love. Let us award ourselves. Let us look at what we contributed, because it's just not fair. Every genre of music has a white person built as the number one in it. And that's not fair. The number one person in rap is Tim Westwood. The number one person in reggae is David Rodigan. The number one person in hip hop is what's it called? Eminem. It's not fair. So at this point in time, as you're saying, Angie, Jamaica has made a massive mistake. It's not the time. The timing is like a slap in the face.
Can I just say to both of you, listening to children of Jamaica argue while they're agreeing is fantastic for somebody like you.
It's him.
Everything that I've ever thought about you lot.
It's him.
Right. You're like, children, stop, Curtis. Stop, Angie. Stop fighting.
No, I grab that. Let's grab that too.
No, because it's important. No, can I just say this, Eddie? It's important that we don't repeat the same mistakes. How long can we repeat it? From the 60s, we heard about our music being appropriated. From the 70s, and we're here to complain about it. We have to decide no more. We're not doing that as a community. That's it.
Can I just say, Grandad, please,
from your wall.
Let me just say, it doesn't work for them unless black people endorse them. It doesn't work unless a black person says he's the best or she's the greatest. It doesn't work for them. If Rita Ora walked into a dance studio with 5 white dancers, her image, everything, it just wouldn't work. So we have to endorse them. We want to make a living. You're a dancer, your choreographer says, oh, Rita Ora needs 6 black girls to stand behind her and shake their bottoms. Every black girl, oh, I'll do it. But at some point, we have to say no. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. I remember watching what's her name? You're straight. Oh, go on, carry on. Because you want to cut us off every time.
Kylie
Minogue. Remember watching Kylie Minogue? She would be so lucky. I remember as a child watching her and looking behind her and seeing 3 gorgeous vocalists that I knew. One of them personally had the voice of an angel, and all she got to sing was "Lucky in Love."
How many times?
Lucky in Love. And Kylie's there miming her backside off. The best backside in the world that year, apparently. But anyway, it's not fair. And this is the moment in time that as black people, we got to say, when you're getting that call to go and dance and sing and jump up behind somebody with less talent than you say, whoa.
And gospel choirs as well.
Is that all right? No, listen, I started the show saying I need therapy, and you two are taking it like this is a therapy.
No, it is therapy.
Cool as
Bette Midler is singing on a stage live. She's singing. She hears a voice in the background. It's Luther Vandross. She says, hang on a minute. Who's that singing behind me? Whoa. She drags his shy, big body off of the background and says, you're too good to be back there. And she launches her career. That's why I will always love Bette Midler, because she knows how to play the game fair.
Yeah, well,
and then we had Luther.
Look at the story. Yeah, but look at the story of Black Panther and Denzel Washington. I just put it up on Facebook that I saw on Rudy Liquid's page. That is the kind of, just have a look if you can, go onto the page. That's the kind of person that I want to be. Now look at the other kind of person.
Rudy Liquid or Denzel?
Denzel and Rudy.
Rudy Washington. Right, and it's, well done, Rudy. If you're listening, it's great what you do, man. Keep it up. Now, listen, I need to get. There is one boss. In fact, if you don't mind, I want to get the boss on first, and then we'll get the bigger boss on. Right. So, Mr. Nestor, comments that are coming through, please, if you don't mind.
Hello again.
Hello.
Getting very passionate in there. Hello, Eddie. Hello again. Right. So with Rita Ora, many people are saying that they weren't aware that she was black. She comes under the ambiguous term exotic.
Yes.
Amanda says she had an argument in secondary school by a girl who said Bo Derek was the first black person to have cane rows. We all remember that time. Yes. Anthony Lee says Rita was always branded as the UK's answer to Rihanna. DP says wearing wigs, straightening hair because your natural self is not accepted is different to appropriation. Verona White says we must love ourselves and others who look like us first. And Sheba says Westwood and Rodigan's status are upheld due to the adoration of black people.
That's right.
Yeah, that backs up to what you are saying, Curtis.
All right. At last, a sensible person agreeing with a sensible person.
Well, that's not. If you go back through the comments, they mostly say, I agree with Angie. This
they
must
always
be the
say
first
that.
time after
I think
10
Angie's
weeks
got 4 accounts to sit there writing to herself.
Lisa, looking lovely, darling.
They agree with all of you at times and disagree with you also. But look, I just want to mention to everybody, this is the time when you can post your questions directly to Eddie, Angie and Curtis about issues that we have been talking about today. Please, can you start your sentence with a love heart or something? Because we've got loads of comments coming in and I just need to find them. So you can ask them anything directly related to the show today. And just a reminder again, big up Jill Nichols, the main sponsor of the show, and Island Flavors, who do healthy Caribbean food, including vegan takeaway food, which I have tasted myself. Yes, it's very nice. Bought me a lovely dish yesterday. Don't forget to like.
I didn't get any.
I'll save you some for next time.
So all your leftovers.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lisa.
I thought you were used to those, Kurt.
Only yours, Eddie.
Okay, so please, we'll put that Samaritan thing up. If there's anybody going through anything, we'll put it in the comments again. So I do know lots of people are in a problem right now. So we put that up. That's really, really important. So look, I did say we're going to get the bigger boss on. We wouldn't be here, if I'm honest with you, without people reaching out. It's been great because since she's come, other people have come, and when we come back after Angie's been on a world tour, we will definitely be looking for that. We've got the t-shirts that we're going to try to monetize again. So sorry for not having them available before. This, everybody, is Jill Nichols from Travel Counsellors. Jill, welcome.
Thank you. Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
welcome, Jill.
Hi, guys. Hi.
God bless you. Really appreciate it. I mean, lots of what we're talking about here on the show today is a kind of self-love, because we don't like each other really in a lot of the ways that I see it. A, you watched it, and B, you decided that you were going to sponsor a show at the time when there are no flights. Are you mad?
No, I'm not mad at all. I just figured I started watching the show and I really loved it. And I actually likened it to like the fourth emergency service. It was something that we needed in our community, where we could talk about things openly and not have to worry about, how we're going to come across in the wider society. And you were asking for sponsorship. I thought about it for a while and I thought, well, we may be able to help each other out. I may be able to get some exposure and I'll help you guys out at the same time. And then we all win. Everyone's a winner.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, and thank you. Honestly, I mean, we've all said it to you individually, and I'd like to say it to you publicly. But I mean, for me, if anybody's watching this, then do me a favor, spread the Travel Counsellors with Jill Nichols. We'll put the page up, like the page, because clearly they're not going to be flights in the traditional sense. The aviation industry is in a problem at the minute. But if you like the ladies' page, and when you are thinking of traveling, you do it, then hopefully, this could be the beginning of something good, because we are talking about supporting each other. That I was slated because I just resist the idea of GoFundMe. I think that we can do it. We can help each other, and God bless you for helping us out. Now, look, reason I've asked you on here today is because I phoned you when I was last Friday. I think that some people said that they went to Greece and it was all right to go to Greece, and I phoned you, and I'm going to tell you what you said, or I'll tell everybody else what you said. You can go, but I don't know what's going to happen when you're coming back, because the situation is fluid, as you said, and you spoke the truth in a way there, didn't you? Yeah. We're going to not put comments up when you're wrong, because they're going right over your face. But talk to us about, because that situation in France, Belgium, Holland, those people are just in a problem. Tell us how bad the situation is, Jill.
Yeah, it's really confusing and really uncertain. So, Europe just seems to be shutting down at the moment, and we just don't know where we are. So, you can go, but it's really quite risky to do, because you may be in France or in Greece, and then all of a sudden the Foreign and Commonwealth Office decide, oh no, the R numbers there are getting too high, and so we're going to have to take it off the safe list. And you either stay out there and come back and have to quarantine for 2 weeks, which some people can't, or you have to make the decision that you don't go, or you have to make the decision that you try and get back as quickly as you can before the quarantine comes in. So it's just a really uncertain situation if you're traveling in Europe at the moment. The great thing for our community, though, is that most of the Caribbean islands, I think all of them, are actually on the safe list, because they've done so brilliantly in looking after, in the COVID response, right, that they're on the safe list, so you can travel there. So, it's great for our community. Although when you get there, you may have to quarantine because they're quite strict.
That's good.
What about elderly? Can we get the elderly on a plane?
Sorry, Curtis. Sorry.
Can we get the elderly on a plane? I got an old woman here. Any chance?
Yeah, you can. If
I don't care where it's going. I really don't.
We've got 3 of them, which you could get a wheelbarrow or something. We've got 3 to get rid of.
That's all right. I can do wheelchair assistance through the airport, no problem. We can get them on a flight, no problem. They may have to wear a mask though for 11 hours flight, but
so,
it could be possible.
Jill, is there a form that my mum's going back in September?
Yeah.
Is there a form that she has to fill in, and what form is that? Because somebody mentioned a form.
There is. So it depends on whether you're a visitor or you're a resident in Jamaica. Is Jamaica your mum going to? Yeah.
Yeah. Back
So
home, resident.
yeah, so you have to either, you can get all this information from the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, the fco.gov.uk. You can get all that information on there, but there is a form that you have to fill out. It's quite a lengthy form, and it does involve a lot of work on the computer as well. So you may have to help her if she's not computer savvy.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah,
How's
you
your
have to do
mental
that.
state, Angie? Your mum's mental state, how is it?
My mum wants to go home. My mum's going home in September, and she has been packed since July.
Can she fill out a form on a computer?
No, I'll do that. That's not a problem. But she just
You
wants
sure?
to go home. She just wants to go home now. She just wants to go home and be in Jamaica. Even with the COVID has put too much pressure on her, and I think she's ready to just be in peace. And Jamaica's handled it.
When she gets home, though, 14 days.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she won't mind that, will she?
She'll be fine. She will be fine.
Where's she going, Angie? Maypen?
Maypen, yeah.
Wait, Jill, in terms of future travel, can you see when, I mean, I'm beating up British Airways all the time, you know, letting people go there and re-employing them on worse terms than they were on originally. And apparently there are other companies doing that. Their argument is they're trying to keep as many people in work as possible, but it doesn't look good. That industry, as well as hospitality, theatres, are supposed to be, it's decimated, isn't it?
Yeah, it is going to be really difficult for our industry. I can't imagine it coming back to normal for at least another 2 years. But the good thing about being in England is English people love their holidays. So at some point it will come back, but I think we'll just have to wait a bit longer than everybody else and try and hang in there. It's actually more important than ever now. Go on, sorry.
Yes. Yeah, no, you're right. I need a break. I would have been gone. Honestly, I would have been doing this from somewhere else. I would have been gone. What is your tip to anybody who's thinking of going somewhere? Should they book? Should they look? Should they wait? We're hearing about second peak. The instructions, I'll just get this up. The instructions are not clear, I would say, because I've asked people if they know what the rules are, and no one can tell me. And I saw this one on Facebook. Next week's leaked COVID guidance, you can't meet with another person from outside your family with an A or an R in their name unless it's a Wednesday. Family members are okay. It's the third Monday after Pancake Tuesday. People under 5'11" are allowed to go to the pub unless they have brown hair. Car owners are exempt from the above unless the cat owners are exempt unless they have a ginger cat. I mean, it is a joke, but it kind of changes every day. Now, increased fines for people going into shop, 10 grand fine for anybody planning one of those block party things. What's your best prediction about the future and where people might be able to go and whether there will be a second peak? Boris?
Well, I wish I had a crystal ball. I think probably the best advice I can give people now is to use a travel agent. And I'm not just saying that because I am one, but you need to have the protection. Travel agents can give you that protection for booking. And if you can't go, you can get a refund or you can reschedule it. It just takes all the stress away from you having to do it.
But you say that, Jill, but the biggest story for me was people struggling to get their money back.
There are some unscrupulous travel agents out there. So you do have to be careful who you use, but travel counsellors will always give you a full refund if you are due one.
That's why we use Jill. That's
the way to talk, Jill. Talk it, baby.
Yeah.
I've always loved travel counsellors. I've always loved your company. One of my favourites.
You're the best.
Yeah, Jill, I want to say thank you again. God bless you. I mean, as I said, we've got a few more to do. I really appreciate your support. If you're watching this now, please support the lady. You can see what she's doing, and this is the beginning of what we're talking about. We're the only set of people who have to be encouraged to support each other. Everyone else does it, and it sounds weird because you say it, but everybody else does it as a matter of course. So, Jill, I just want to say to you and your husband, thank you very much. God bless you, and I hope that you get what you want. And certainly, when I book a holiday next, I will definitely come to you for a quote.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, guys. My pleasure.
Thank you, Jill. See you soon.
Welcome.
That was nice, Eddie.
Bye-bye. So that's Jill. Well, to get some information about going on holiday, I wanted to get away. I mean, if I can't send her my mum away, I wanted to go away from her.
And leave your mum there.
Can't work at the minute.
You know,
Just leave her on her own.
I'm not
leave her
actually
with
trying to get,
a bag of rice.
I'm actually not trying to get rid of my mum. Okay, I'm quite happy with my mum here.
We hear you,
She's the one that
Angie.
wants to go home.
We hear you. Is
She's
she
the one
behind
that
you?
wants to go home.
Is she in the same room? It's all right.
You're a coward.
She wants to go. I don't want it to go.
Before we get I've left this one till last because I imagine, well, not last, penultimate. We're running. What's it? Look at the time. We're already.
Wow,
Okay,
you could chat, man.
Okay, let's do it quickly. Disciplining children has come up, right? And like we're gonna try it, and I'm interested in what you think. Right. So, if you don't mind, I can start. Mrs. Nestor told me, if you touch my child, I will kill you. That's how our conversation about how to discipline children began. I got very close. There's a video that's going around of somebody who looks like me for a child who broke a window. And every time I go anywhere and somebody comes up and up about the window,
yeah,
I feel so sorry for him. Are you the one who broke the window? He took me to a dark place. Right. Right. Angie, yours are too big to beat now. They're probably ready to look at you. Did you do it? Did you smack your children, spare the rod and spoil the child, all that kind of stuff? And if you had children now, again, would you still do it?
You know, we do the Bible, Proverbs 13:24, discipline your children, or if you don't discipline them,
you had me reading the Bible.
You're gonna have a problem with the child. And discipline is really important. But also, I was disciplined growing up, and in my family, we all weren't disciplined the same, because your first child to your last child, in my case, 3 children, has been different. I have one child I've disciplined really hard, and that's probably the one that's probably the worst today, if I say that out. But the truth of the matter is this: it's something that we saw growing up, and it was a natural thing to do. If I had the chance to do it all again, I wouldn't do it like that again. I would probably start younger and start to negotiate how I raise individual children. I was reading a part about Lauryn Hill's daughter, who went onto Instagram and started talking about her father, Rowan Marley, and her mother, Lauryn Hill, and that she's traumatized by the fact that the father wasn't there, but the mother beat her in anger. And what Lauryn Hill said was, I don't mind that I disciplined you. I'm probably wrong to have disciplined you in anger. And I think you can't beat at somebody happy. I don't think you can be happy when you're beating somebody. You are angry, and that's come out of that. And this goes back years in our history, from slavery and disciplining us and trying to control us. And we've kind of missed the point on discipline. And I think this is a great time to be able to say how we communicate with our children is important right now. Because right now, the children out there, have we lost those children? Can we get them back? Is it too late? When is the most important time to get to a child? Before 5, they say, and definitely not after 7. You can't get them to think a certain way. And I think now there's a lot of regrets, because I think I could have probably spoken a bit better. I could have probably not lashed out. And maybe that thing that you broke wasn't that important to me, but I made you feel like you were more, that was worth more than you in that moment. And those are the things that I start to understand about now. And you get a second chance with grandchildren, because they're not your responsibility to discipline. But I do think that there is a big thing about beating and disciplining. And I look back to my parents, and I don't feel angry towards them, because I know at the time I was wrong. But I do feel like communication could have been a better thing in our family growing up, for everybody, for that generation. Because there's some people, women that I've met and men who were traumatized by the discipline. And we don't get to talk about trauma. That's why we're here now.
Yeah, I think I've got to tell you, my dad died in 2005. And I think that the only time that I saw him really disappointed in me is I went on the radio with my bright self and I said, if I disciplined my children the way my dad disciplined me, it would probably be a social services thing, which is absolutely true. But I saw what it did to him, and it hurt. That one hurt me to my core. I think, yeah. I mean, that's really honest of you, Angie. I've got to say, you surprised me. I didn't expect that from you. But I think that's part of the trauma that we've been talking about. You can't beat someone, spell their name, hit them all around. And my dad made me break the twig from the tree and then bring it. And I think that probably adds to it. Curtis?
Yeah, well, I think mine's a bit different. My dad wasn't a beater. He would rough you up. My mum was probably more of the disciplinarian in our household. But my dad had the voice of God. He just spoke and then froze. You know, as a child, once my dad spoke, I do it in a routine by talking, calling your name one time, and that was my father. He called you once, and that was it. If he had to call you twice, whew, so you moved when he called you the first time. And with my children, I didn't physical with them. I didn't. And if I did it in a way that looked like an accident. So I would walk past and just cuff them with that part of the elbow, just like that. Just catch them just by the throat, like that. Oh, sorry, did I get you? Now put the dustbins out. That's how I kind of did it. But I'm not big on I think we love talking. There was a lot of communication in the house, whether it was grunts and groans. My dad wasn't a great talker, but you understood what he meant. And you kind of, in my house, you just get it done, you do it. There's no big shouting. I don't like shouting at children. I think it's wrong. I've spoken. It's still very much about discipline. I think we've lost discipline. We confuse discipline with beating, and it's two different things. Any child likes structure. They do appreciate a routine, a structure, a respect thing that, you know, I've spoken. I am an adult, and I know a lot of people don't like that kind of talk anymore, but I'm an adult. Please respect me enough to say, when I say tidy the room or I say come over here, you move. Just put a little energy in your movements. And that's pretty much how I kind of raised mine. I didn't.
But this generation is very different. The young people today are very different. They talk back in a way that we could never speak back. You know, my mum used to walk into a bedroom, and if she came into the room, I would literally pretend to be doing some type of work in my room so that she wouldn't find nothing for me to do. If I go into any of my children's room at the time when I was raising them, they didn't care. They didn't jump. They just looked at me like, is there a problem? And it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you're thinking, are you still sleeping? And I'm there thinking, oh, they must be tired. My mum wouldn't be thinking like that. You know, this is a different generation. I
know that, but I think what's changed, Angie, is like Eddie said, your parents treated you a certain way, so you said, I'm not going to do my children that way. Lisa has said to Eddie, if you touch my babies, which is fine, but at some point, you've still got to be able to discipline. It might not be the touch thing, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying we've lost the art of disciplining or getting children to respect you and your voice. Just that alone, I think we've lost. I think there's a generational thing. And I know you're saying children are different. I don't think we are. When we were children, we were the same. It's what's changed is the way as parents, a lot of us have dropped the ball or become friends with our children. This is something I hate. I don't want to be my child's friend. I don't want to be your friend.
Yes, but
at all. I don't want to go clubbing with you. I don't want to go dancing with you. I don't want to share makeup with you. I want you to be a productive member of society. I want you to live out your dreams, your fantasies. I want everything possible for you.
The influence is different. The influence is very different. The music is different. The media is different. The expectation. Anybody who's raising their children in social media era is struggling because what they're seeing on social media, you know, you've got kids that are in a dark room by themselves being depressed because they're getting bullied online and they're not talking to you because they don't come home with bruises.
Because you bought them a laptop. Because you bought them a phone. They didn't buy the phone.
Just a minute, because you can't run down to the school and see the bruises. So the bruises are internal and they're suffering by themselves. And so we can't get to them in the same way. The music, the sexualization. I was watching the WAP video the other day with Cardi B. And I was saying to my daughter, the problem that I have with that video is this, that men might see you and when you go out to a club, the sexual behavior that they expect of you through this video. And you might not be prepared for the response, but Cardi B and Megan, they can go home, they can have security around them. So our kids are going through a different thing. The most we were doing was going to a dance, somebody squeezing the dance, lovers rock, you come home. You'd even get a lift home from guys who are on the street going, hey, which way are you going? I'm going south. You want a lift? I don't want you guys walking home by yourself. That was growing up. That isn't that anymore. And this is the issue that a lot of our young people have. So whilst we haven't changed, they have a lot more issues.
Yeah, no, I accept everything that you guys have said is true. I suppose, again, maybe this is part of my issue and my trouble. I'm trying to internalize, because the one thing I know is that my mum did 2 jobs all her life while she was here. And what that meant was she didn't have time to sit down with me, even if she could do the homework with me. And the one thing that I'm trying to work out is time, Angie. Because when you hit your child, quite often you're hitting your child angry. You can't hit a child angry, because that means you've lost control. You're not in control. Right. And then that in turn teaches that child something. So I'm not judging anybody else. And that's why I started with the because I wanted to take the racket and push it up in his nose. I'm not saying that. I suppose from our point of view, we're just talking about us and where we are, but maybe that'll be something for next week to talk about those outside influences. I think that we didn't really push the questions today, but if there are any, can I get the boss lady on? Because we're well over time, and I knew we would be today. And we haven't even done, is Donald Trump a racist for what he's saying about Kamala Harris? So
yes, he is.
I apologize.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
I have two bad breed. I have 2 bad breed children who won't listen to their grandfather. You 2 need beaten because you just won't let. Anyway, boss lady, have we got anything? Don't matter if we haven't.
No beating for our children, Eddie. Remember? Yes.
Yes.
No. Curtis. Glendora says, Curtis, times have changed. Don't you think we need to adapt to talking about disciplining?
Do I answer her?
Times have changed. Do you think as parents we need to adapt?
Yeah, of course we need to adapt. But what I'm saying is, don't forget the principles of parenting. You are not your child's friend. You are their parent. If you're lucky enough to have children, that's your responsibility. Yeah, raise them. Don't let them just grow. Raise them.
Good. Okay. Angie, not a question, but people are saying, very honest, Angie. I think we can all relate to what you're saying, talking about your different approaches to your different children in terms of disciplining. And Eddie, a question for you. There's lots of love coming out.
Sorry. Can I?
Yes?
No. Hold on a minute. Before you go to me, I hope you don't mind, boss lady. Sorry, just 1 second.
No problem.
Angie, one of the things that I've always thought about is, we've talked a lot about parenting on here, and Curtis has been incredibly honest, and so have you today, right? So let me ask you a different question. Before you became a parent, did you think that if me and my husband do X and Y, then all of my children are going to come out Z?
Well, yeah, I kind of thought that we come from the same upbringing. We kind of knew what our stories were, and just having children was quite a joy, really. And it's only when you start to think, oh, they mustn't do that. They shouldn't do that because I wasn't allowed to do that. So we didn't sit down and go, oh, we're not going to, because you and Lisa have had a great opportunity to kind of say, this is how I want it to be done. We were just going to do it how we knew it, how we were raised, and see each child. But each child was very different. The
point I'm making is that all 3 of them are brought up in the same house. But no, son, go back. Daddy's on the phone. I know it's 2:16, man.
Don't be with your belt, Eddie. Get your belt. That is walking in on you like that. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Get your belt out, man.
I've changed my opinion now, Eddie. You can go.
What timing, my word.
Will you get that child?
I'm sure I saw that kid on EastEnders. Is that your son or an actor?
Oh, bless. Eddie, sorry. Go on.
Well,
he's done. His credibility's shot.
I'm asking.
Back to you, Lisa. Back to you, boss.
If all children are brought up by the same mum and dad in the same house, did we think that all 4 of them would turn out exactly the same? That's the question I'm asking.
Yeah, no, because the thing is, we all have siblings and we all have varied siblings. That's why we spoke earlier about one person taking the responsibility, the issues of some who didn't get to do their dreams and some who are living their dreams, some who are financially better off than the others, and the impact that that has. So we've already seen how that works. Then when you have your children, all you pray is you all go through the system right. You go to school, you go to college, you go to exams, and you do that. One falls out. You know, I took my child out in secondary school because I knew it was going down a certain road. So it was a difficult decision. But the point is that you realize early that the results won't be the same because they're going to make their own decisions. And we have to take the pressure off and go, you're an individual child. What is your thing? My daughter said, Mum, I don't want to go to university. And I say, you know what? You don't have to, because that might just be doing it for me as opposed to what you want to do for yourself. Travis went to university. He said, Mum, I want to do stand-up comedy. Okay. So I can only encourage and make sure that I give you what I can, and that's enough. Other than that, you're going to make your own choices. It's difficult, but it's difficult.
No, thank you. Boss lady, sorry about interrupting you.
No problem. Eddie, this is one for you. Heather says, how do you deal with the stress of working in the BBC every day?
Well, I'm not at the minute, am I? So I'm not at work at the minute. I don't know when I'm going back, and I don't know if I'm going back. Is that too honest an answer?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, boss lady. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much.
I think it's a lovely,
Thank you, Lisa.
place. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Have a lovely one.
Thanks,
Curtis
Lisa.
and Angie. Angie.
Eddie,
and Angie,
can I just say, Eddie,
one today,
if
wasn't
you
it?
could
Really?
get Fiona around, because you've been freezing the whole show. Your Wi-Fi is not up to scratch, Eddie. Get your social media mafia around your own house.
The media mafia. Yes, the media mafia. The media. I'm gonna physician heal thyself.
Exactly.
Brother man, look after yourself. I talk to you.
You too.
I'm making a trip, I think, up to Brixton on Thursday to meet the media mafia. Hopefully I'll see you up there, brother man. Look after yourself, yeah? Angie, again,
Take care.
Tell the truth, it will set you free. So, thank you for
Every day.
speaking your truth. Look after yourself. Bye-bye, darling.
Love you.
Take it easy. So, listen, thank you. Sorry, we're really, really late, but I kind of needed it today. So, I hope you forgive us for running a little bit over time. Jill, brilliant. Please support her. That's travel counselors. Really important. I'll talk to the boss. I'm really sorry about all the people. So many people want the t-shirt. The t-shirt looks great. It just didn't work for me this week. So I hope you'll give me this week. I promised you by Tuesday or Wednesday we'll sort something out. And I really appreciate it, because if we can monetize that, that helps us to come back when Angie's come back. And I look forward to doing that. Thank you to Jackson Neville for the Food Island flavorings, and look after yourself. Take it easy. No fun day Sunday today. No fun day Sunday today. So I won't be on here from 7 to 9, but Lewis Mastermind is on in a little while. Paul's on now, I think. Sorry, Paul, for eating into your time. Special thank you to the boss. Appreciate it. And God spare our lives. We'll be back here next week. Please take care.